In my first few years of producing electronic music, I ran into a big problem that might sound familiar. All my lead sounds, even after hours of tweaking, ended up sounding like generic presets, even if I had built them from scratch. Now bear in mind, I was not a complete beginner in sound design back then. I knew how to combine different oscillators, nap envelopes and LFOs, and use filters and effects to make my sound a bit more unique. But still, I really couldn't break through a certain ceiling in my sound design. At some point, I realized that in order to break through this plateau, I needed to do things differently. And that's when I gave myself a challenge that I'm still grateful for to this day, because it has changed my sound design for the better. So here's what I did. I challenged myself to create a full lead line just using one percussion hit. No synths allowed. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how this works, why it creates sounds that traditional synthesis cannot really achieve in the same way, and also how you can use this in your own tracks to make them sound a bit more unique. So a lot of artists, specifically in genres like techno, struggle with this. They actually want to create lead lines, but they always end up sounding like the same preset that everyone else is using, together with melodies that are just a bit too cheesy. And so this is a challenge that we've also given to the artists inside our coaching program. So we run a coaching and mentorship program. If that's interesting to you, check out the link in the description, pickyourself.com/coaching. Those artists have seen great success with this technique, so pay close attention. This is probably going to change a lot for you. Okay, to get started, you just load a sampler on a new track. So I've picked Ableton's drum sampler. You could also do it with the traditional one or any other sampler really. And I will drag a percussion sound into this. So here I've picked a click sound. Doesn't really matter what you use just use something to start with. Now step one of the process is to sequence that sound. So obviously you can play any sample in different notes, but we don't want to fall into the trap of here penciling in MIDI notes, because that is going to rip us out of the flow. So there are actually several ways to come up with MIDI notes. One of them is to use the new generation functions. So you could, for example, draw in one of these shapes to just get started. Or you could pull in a existing audio loop and convert that to MIDI. So I could just load any random loop into this and convert it into a melody. So it's going to analyze that MIDI. There you have it. So this is what this will sound like. Or one of my favorite ways is to just use a sequencer. So load a sequencer in front of this, change the settings a little bit, and let this play and just see what works with our beat. It's actually quite cool. Now I hear you say this still sounds like a percussion sample, and you're absolutely right, but this is exactly what we're about to change right now. So what we can do is we can, for example, use frequency modulation inside a sampler. And like most samplers actually have this function, you can use frequency modulation to change the tonality and character of that sample. So listen to this. So we're getting into tonal qualities here. Now to make this less static, we can animate this by adding an LFO, and we will map this to the frequency here. We'll keep the amount where it is right now. We can play with this later on, and you will see how this is changing. Now I personally prefer this to be kind of gliding or straying a little bit, so that it just has a little bit of a more random fluctuation. And I also bring the rate down a little bit. I don't sync this to my tempo because I like this to be a bit more free floating. So listen to this now. Now obviously we can then change the range a little bit, so the depth of the modulation, or you can use just this handle here, that's also fine. Let's make it unipolar so that it's only working in one direction here, so from full frequency to a little bit lower. Well, this is already getting somewhere, but this is just the beginning. Step 2 in our process is to infuse the sound with tonality, and we do this with a synthesis technique called physical modeling. So the idea behind physical modeling is quite simple. You have a resonator, so an object that mimics the behavior of an actual instrument, and then you have something that excites this. The sound that we've created so far, this sequence, this is what will excite the resonator. Now, Ableton has a few different tools to do this with, and we will start with the classic resonators. Let's just deactivate the filter. So you will resonate different notes here. Now you can change this according to whatever mode or scale you're working in. And then you also can adjust the width here. Right now, if this is 100%, then they are panned very wide. I actually don't like my lead sounds to be super wide to start with, so I'll bring this down a little bit. And then we can change the intervals here. So we can go some semitones up, for example, and also change the gain of all of these resonating notes. So just listen to this first of all. If I make this 100% wet, you will hear just the resonator. Now, I personally like to have a little bit of the original signal mixed in, so we just have a bit of resonating going on. And let's also bring this down a little bit. Now let's play with the intervals. So let's go 7 semitones up on this one. So I'll just deactivate the other ones for now. So you just hear the original mixed in and the 7 semitones up. Let's do 19 or something on the next one. You can experiment with this. Here an octave up, or 21 could also sound interesting. So I'll just go for something like this. Let's put this like an octave up and the other ones slightly differently. And we'll decrease the gain on this one and this one here a little bit. So this is where you need to fine tune the settings until it just sounds right to you. So I really like this freaky FM sound, so I just mixed it in a little bit because we will infuse this with even more tonality by using the corpus effect. Now in corpus, you actually have actual physical objects here like beam or marimba, string, membrane, plate, pipe tube, and you can select them. And actually here, if the CPU allows this, I would set it to high because it just sounds better. I will go for the membrane and just see how that sounds. So I'll keep this 50% wet. As you can see, you can modulate the decay, so here it gets more snappy. Here it gets longer. And you can mix, for example, the amount of upper harmonics here. In harmonics in this case, so it's like sounding a little bit weirder if you put this up. So for genres like techno, it's obviously desirable to not have every like super harmonic. Is changing like where you hit this thing, and you can obviously change the chord tuning of this. You can spread it out even more. All these cool things are possible. I keep this relatively simple right now because I still want to keep some of the magic for the last step here. Now, one of the favorite effects that I use to support sounds like this is a Bluetooth shifter. You've seen me do this in many tutorials. This is actually quite cool because it has a built-in delay, and you can, for example, set this. Now let's set this to 8th notes and a little bit of feedback, and then down tune this a bit. So let's see how that sounds if we give this a little bit of a backbeat here. Okay, now that we have a solid foundation, meaning we have a great rhythm paired with interesting tonality that you couldn't like create with a traditional synthesizer that easily, it's now time to take this to the next level by creating a synth return path, which will add some texture to the sound. Now, before we get there, if you struggle with finishing songs, I have a free gift for you. It's called the Finisher Framework. You can get it at pickyourself.com/framework. The link is also in the description. And this will help you finish at least one great sounding song per month. This is totally realistic if you start implementing that system. Go to pickyourself.com/framework. The link is in the description. And here you can go pretty crazy. I'll show you some of my personal favorites, which definitely starts with the grain delay. So we'll send to this. This is 100% wet. You can, for example, create a pitched version that is like 1 octave up with a little bit of this rain spray. Now let's feed that into a phaser flanger. So this is just the return path. And then into a hybrid reverb. And what I love about the hybrid reverb is that you can actually go away from these physical spaces. So here you have actually a blend between real spaces by convolution reverb, actual rooms with an impulse response, and then this algorithmic reverb. But I actually love the algorithmic settings here. If you just go this to 100% algorithmic and then you do something like the shimmer, tides, dark hall, like these really cool evolving soundscapes, and then bring this vintage mode to something like older or extreme, which adds even more texture. These are real texture machines. I absolutely love that stuff. Now, the lead line that we've created here is a little bit more abstract and not as melodic, but you can infuse more melodic elements simply by pumping up these like dry and wet portions in corpus and the resonators. Now, what can sometimes happen is that you get too much of a resonance, like it's the case here. I'll just show you what this looks like. So you have these resonances here. Now, you can choose to suppress them, or you can just say, okay, that is part of the sound here. But if you have something like Favoritter Pro Q4 or any other tool that lets you suppress these resonances, you can do it either directly by notching it out like this. Then it also loses a little bit of the character if you do it too extreme. Or you can use the new spectral mode and just say like, okay, dynamically suppress them whenever they pop up too much. So this is how you suppress those. And in case you just use Ableton EQ8, that's also fine. Just notch it out, but make sure to really fine tune it so it's not going too extreme. So we'll play this again and bring in a little bit of our synth. Now, the important thing you need to know about physical modeling is that it reacts to everything in the chain that happens before. So that means you can play around with, for example, just swapping out the sample or going here and changing the FM amount. So all of this will change what comes out at the other end. And this is what gets interesting. You might have something where you're kind of happy already, but you're just willing to experiment and see what happens. So let's try that out. Okay, that is super cool, for example. It's maybe resonating a bit too much, so you have to bring those down once again. So back when I did that challenge for the first time, it has taught me a valuable lesson that still sticks with me until this day. You need to think beyond oscillators, filters, and envelopes when thinking about sound design. By artificially limiting yourself to just working with that one sample and getting the most out of it, you start to push the boundaries and you will explore many creative ways and effects that you probably haven't even used in Ableton yet. Now, speaking of pushing the boundaries and pushing yourself, it can sometimes be quite hard to make progress on your own with music production. So if you want some help, go to pickyourself.com/coaching. We have a true one-to-one coaching and mentorship program where we help you finish music you're proud of consistently. We have helped hundreds of artists just like you, and we would love to get to know you. Now, if you want to get even deeper into sound design, check out that video next, because I will show you step by step my framework of how to approach traditional synthesis in new and exciting ways.